starts getting all weirded out. And Chris is right there in the back room, and he's like, "No, don't cut her off. Let her continue." And she's basically saying how she wants like everybody to know like what's really going on.
Yeah.
And that the only way to really explain it is to show everyone. And she just starts, and it's super crazy too, but just starts transforming on like live television.
Yeah.
And the guy next to her, right, the anchor is just like, what the
Yeah, all of them start freaking out.
You know,
why did she look like an Ewok?
I'm assuming it was because she doesn't get to change fully, maybe.
Yeah,
because it's
she should have looked like a stuffed animal.
Because if we know how the mythology works, once you change into a wolf, you're not really yourself. Like, you don't have willpower.
Yeah,
you're just like you're a wild animal, essentially. I'm assuming, and so Chris basically runs in and like kills her on national television.
On live TV. That was the plan. I'm assuming the whole time. Like, she didn't want to live that way. Anyways, I don't know. Do you think that was the plan the whole time for Chris to kill her?
Yeah.
On live TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's no way that Chris going through all of that, there's no way he would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna, like what other logical thing could you do if you guys were gonna have her change, because she would have went around and just murdered everybody in that place.
Yeah.
And then we cut to a bunch of people in a bar, and they're just like, yeah, that's what happened, like.
They're like, man, the stuff you can do with special effects these days. You see the one where the guy landed on the moon? Yeah, and then, it does cut to the people in the bar, and then it's slowly going down the row of people, and they're talking about what they just saw. And then I think they asked the guy, and he's like, oh, what do you have? And he's like, oh, I have a burger or something like that. And he's like, you miss? How do you want your burger? And then it cuts to it goes up, and it's Marsha at the bar, and then she's like, he's like, how do you like your burger? And she like turns her head a little bit and looks right at the camera, and she's like, rare. And then I was like, oh my god, can you get any more like super cheesy? But it's so good. And it's like, oh, it's so creepy. She's out in the world, she survived. And then the credits are rolling on a burger being cooked.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this is sick. It was almost reminiscent of Wrong Turn.
Yeah, right.
The end credits rolling with something playing in the back. I thought that was pretty cool.
The patty.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I never bothered to see any of the sequels, but there's like 7 Howling sequels.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how many, because I saw a lot when I like put it in, like to rent it.
There's so many. There's like Howling Reborn, Howling 1, 2, and 3, like so many of them. I was just like, this is crazy. Just watch Ginger Snaps, guys.
Yeah.
No, but I like this one, especially because it's like at the cusp, the start of the 80s and that kind of video nasty era where things were just super violent and nuts, with the effects and the blood and the gore, and just a visceral time. And this was like a good opening to that,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I had forgotten how, like, what the story entailed.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun for me.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially with because it's like you're dealing with a clan of werewolves essentially. So it's a pretty interesting premise as you, and I don't think anything that, like, has. Again, I haven't seen any of the sequels, but not talking about the Howling, I haven't seen anything done quite like this one, as far as it's kind of meta and where it can be, like you said, kind of horror comedy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, of course, because of Joe Dante. That's very much like his style, like a Sam Raimi style, like a wacky. Just that's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm not taking anything. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I didn't mean that. That it's kind of it's cheesy or cornbally, and I didn't mean that in a bad way. But it's definitely of the times.
The only thing, and like I said in my write-up, is that I feel like they open so strong with the serial killer premise in the porn shop, and it's super cringy because he's like making her watch like a video, and she has to face the video while he's talking to her, like standing behind her. So it's like super creepy and like an amazing opening, right? And then it just like. Nothing happens for what feels like 40 minutes. Not that nothing happens, but nothing exciting.
Yeah.
And because this movie is like an hour and 30 minutes, it's kind of like, what were you guys doing with the pacing? Like, I get, of course, that there's supposed to be a build-up, but it just seemed like there could have been a faster way of doing that. In my opinion.
No, yeah, I agree. Yeah, there was definitely some a little slowing in the middle.
But other than that, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. Do you have any Swan facts on this one?
I do. Do you want to hear them? You want to get into them?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, as we've already stated, the film was adapted from a novel released in 1977 by author Gary Brander. Director Joe Dante was never shy about his opinions on the book, claiming his film was an improvement upon the source material. To make things even more interesting, one year Dante was featured on a panel and was asked about his thoughts on the book. After answering the guest, it was revealed that the guest was in fact the author of the novel.
Oh, wow, okay.
Gary Brander, yeah, so he kind of set him up to see what he was going to say about his book, and he trashed the book to the author, which is insane.
Wow.
Due to the production running low on money, the iconic closing scene of Karen's transformation at the news station was partially shot in Joe Dante's office. Dee Wallace screams right before she turns, and this was originally going to be a sound effect, but Wallace was determined to nail it herself, and she did. So that scream that you hear is not some kind of dubbing or anything. It's really her.
Oh, so they didn't do it like an ADR or whatever?
No, or that.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
During the lovemaking scene where Marsha Quist seduces Karen's husband, animation was used to move along the transformation scene due to the film's low budget. So you were correct in that.
Oh wow, that was a guess too.
Yeah.
That's all right.
The cinematography was done by John Hora, who would go on to also shoot Gremlins 1 and 2, as well as The Burbs.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love The Burbs.
My final swan fact, Dee Wallace and Christopher Stone were actually together in real life and got married at the end of production. They were married until Christopher sadly passed away in 1995.
Oh, wow. That's cool, though. That they were actually together.
Except for the subject matter that happens in the
yeah. Yeah. Aside from that.
Do you have an overall rating for this one?
Yeah, I'd give it a like a high 7.
Okay. I was thinking along the same lines. I would say a 7.5. And I know you didn't get the opportunity to be on Pumpkinhead with me, but if you had to choose one to watch first, Pumpkinhead or The Howling, whose side are you on?
That's a good one.
It's okay if you can't answer.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck in the middle right now.
Just like how our poll was 50-50, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. What about you? What would you have picked?
Honestly, I've thought about this since I watched them together, and I would say that I'm a bigger fan of Pumpkinhead, and I know.
Okay.
I know my buddy Ryan might have a few words to say about that, but yeah, Pumpkinhead was so rad, and I think it's just, I don't know if it's because it deals with revenge, but it's just aged a little better for me than The Howling, you know. And I gave Pumpkinhead an 8, so it's not too far ahead of The Howling, but there was just a little bit more there for me that I would say that I would definitely put on Pumpkinhead first.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, do you have? I believe it should be your turn for our next focus. So, what did you have something lined up?
We'll go ahead and do we'll do Werewolves Within.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. All right, 2021. That's when it came out. So
awesome. Well, it's going to be a fresh watch for both of us, right?
Yes.
So that'll be awesome. As we continue our descent into horror.
Oh yeah. Can't wait, man.
So James, where can our lovely listeners find us if they are unaware?
Oh, yeah. So if you're just stumbling upon this episode, we are Drop the Mic. We are a San Diego-based podcast. We have a huge plethora of episodes that came before this one. So check those out on every single platform. If you're trying to figure out where you can find us, it's any platform that plays podcasts, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Stitcher, anything that plays podcasts, we're on there. I'd say 99% of anything that plays podcasts, we're on there. Check us out. We have, hopefully, if you like what you're hearing, you can give us a 5 stars, a positive review, and you're sharing us with your friends, your coworkers, families, whatever it may be. We also have an Instagram that you can talk to us on there, kind of be getting more contact with us that way, and stay a little more connected. It is at Drop the Mic _podcast. Me and Wes are both attached to that one. You can comment on a post. Usually it's the weekly Rex or the weekly focus that we're putting up there. You can comment on our stories. Sometimes, like we just did with this episode, the reason it was a double feature basically was because we had a voting situation on which one to do, and it came down to 50. It was split down the middle, so that's why we ended up doing both. Hopefully we can do some more of those in the future because I think that's a really cool idea. But yeah, you can talk to us there. You can recommend some movies that we haven't done. Tell us if you loved or hated the movies that we've done already. That's pretty much about it.
Very nicely said.
Thank you.
And yeah, it was pretty cool to kind of experiment and do like a film. How do you say, like a double bill based on what our listeners wanted to hear. So hopefully we made some people happy. You guys got 2 episodes essentially in 1 week. So and we pulled it off. So I'm pretty happy about that.